Massachusetts' budding marijuana industry, okay, I'll stop after one pun, is something we've talked about a lot on this show. And one area we focused on is the state's pot shop equity program, which was supposed to make sure communities that were disproportionately harmed by the war on drugs would benefit from the newly legal marijuana industry. In fact, that was a requirement laid out in the 2016 ballot question that legalized marijuana. It's not just a good idea, it is the law, first in the nation here. But a new Boston Globe report shows progress on that front is virtually non-existent. Out of 184 pot shop licenses awarded in the state, only 2 were given to equity program participants. And while there are a number of reasons behind those lagging numbers, it's the host community agreement that many are finding to be the biggest hurdle. That's the key licensing provision that gives cities and towns the power to decide whose bid can move forward, like in Fall River, where embattled Mayor Jazel Correa was just accused of extorting would-be pot shop owners. Prosecutors say Correa only signed off on letters required to get a marijuana license after 4 different vendors handed over payments or, quote, contributions between $100,000 and $250,000 each. But this is not just a Fall River problem. Kobe Evans was the first equity program participant to get his license and spent months navigating the process to open his marijuana business in Dorchester. He told us time and again that he was fortunate to get the city's approval, but as he points out, not everyone is so lucky, and in many cases, it's all about who you know.
It really comes down to local control, but unfortunately in Massachusetts, for a minority or someone who's economic empowerment designation, you can't get a meeting to get a host agreement, and that's where the hole in the process is.
He's right. I might add, while Evans found success in Boston, he's still struggling with the same process to try to open another shop in Medford, paying more than $5,500 a month in rent for unused space as he waits. But there's also another barrier for people who don't have large amounts of cash on hand. Banks, which have been hesitant to lend to marijuana businesses because they're still legal under federal law. The State Cannabis Control Commission did try to help with that by asking the legislature to establish zero-interest loans for low-income owners and those of color, but the state Senate rejected the idea. So the struggle continues for the little guy as the big corporations catch all the breaks, and that's exactly why some cities are taking things into their own hands. Both Boston and Cambridge are debating whether to give 2 years of exclusive licenses to smaller, locally owned businesses and those in the equity program. And Somerville is already requiring that for any non-equity marijuana business that's approved, an equity organization has to be given the go-ahead too. Now, while I applaud these cities for doing the right thing, it shouldn't be all on them. This concern was supposed to be sorted out at the state level long ago. That's what the voters demanded when they gave the go-ahead to legalization in 2016. And I, for one, am still waiting on legislators to do the right thing. What do you think? Email us, tweet us, share your thoughts.